Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to test out Skeletor. I'm going to pick him up whilst Champion Chase is still going on to give myself those juicy points. Okay, we get some extra freebies as well. Let's pretend we're doing this and get our stuff. Okay, I'm going to call this out nice and early because I think it's really important. Like, on paper, this dude is definitely not the best. Okay, and even like we've just been having a chat in the HH Gaming team, and we were looking at the ratings we've given him before playtest. So what we often do is we look at a champion skill set as a group of us, as me, Saf, Nubs, YST. We kind of go through and we're like, you know, what do we think in different areas of the game? What do we hope this skill set's going to do? And then when we playtest, obviously we amend based on what we see. He-Man has gone up based on the playtest. Skeletor, we're actually chatting about it right now, is probably going to come down. And that's because some of the stuff which we hoped would happen is not happening already, which is a sad state of affairs because it was already a 3.5. This is going to go down by the time probably this video goes live. And yeah, we're going to update some of his stuff. But I've got to admit, his kit is a bit of a bait, I think, for, well, not for new players. His kit's a bit of a bait for people using books. That's the main thing. So let's go in and check him out. I'll max him out anyway. I'll show you him in action in different areas of the game. So one of the reasons I got my earbuds in, right? So I've been told, I didn't realize this, I don't really play with sound on, but Skeletor and He-Man have both got cool sound effects. So let's check this out. Yeah, okay, nice. Damn. So I wonder if any other champs have got that, because I just don't play with sound. But if there's any other Easter eggs like that, let me know down below. But yeah, I always keep sound off. Anyway, Skeletor. Let's see what he's all about. So I've been told a couple of things I should try, which I will do. Like an arena bomb team could be quite fun. But basically what's going on with this guy, he's got a double hitter. Each hit's got a chance of increasing the duration of a random debuff. This is okay. We'd much rather this was all debuffs, honestly. You know, there's champions out there which have a lower chance but do all the debuffs, and a random is not where it's at for a legendary. I'm going to be honest with it. Like, even at 100%. And this is, so I would not encourage you to try and find books to land in the A1. The A2, and this is where we thought it might be more effective than it is. Basically, if you book him out, 100% chance to put Petrification on, which is a great arena debuff. It basically locks someone out completely. And we thought you could do this because Petrifications wipes out all buffs, all buffs and stuff. We thought you could do this through Stone Skin and through block debuffs, but you cannot. And therefore, his arena rating is gonna tank pretty hard because that was the belief. But basically, he's one of the few champions in the game that can actually do this skill. It's a very strong skill against a single target here to lock them out. But compare it to other champions in the game, it's kind of weak sauce. If it's a boss, though, and this is where if you're an early game player, you can still get some benefit. A boss that has decreased attack and decreased speed on him is going to be way weaker and way easier to deal with. Early game. Okay, I'm talking about Doom Tower bosses like Griffin. I'm talking about Ice Golem specifically. These are two really effective debuffs for. Spider, this is pretty effective as well. Like most of, I guess, Fire Knight as well, and you've got a double hitter A1, so it's okay. Like, there's areas where if you're an early game player, this dude's going to help you out, especially considering you will get a 5-star soul. So the Skeletor chase, once you've done phase 1, you'll go in and you'll get this 5-star soul. As an early game player, a 5-star soul with Brimstone plus those skills is good. But I do not believe he's worth you using your books on. And this is the problem because you don't have a 100% chance to do this if you do not book. But I would say basically don't book this dude. Like, he's kind of weak compared to a lot of, honestly, compared to a lot of epics, but also legendaries. Massively against legendaries. Another reason why he's quite good early game is this. The increased accuracy, which means you massively reduce the accuracy requirement for your team. Again, if you book it, it's down to a 3 turn, which is quite good. And he's got a decent chance to steal buffs from enemies, which is decent in the arena. Then decreases all enemies' turn meter by 15%, which is not bad. And if they're from Tolarian lead, it's 30%. So again, you kind of have to book him for this to be effective. I think the drop turn meter is happening whether you book him or not. I don't think the drop turn meter is a 75% chance. I guess I'll test it today. But yeah, again, booking him is going to make this still more effective, but you're not hitting with this. It's literally just a buff. If there's no buffs to steal, you're basically giving yourself increased accuracy and then dropping enemy turn meter. This is okay for a bomb arena team because you're getting your accuracy up, but really you need it to say, and gives you increased attack for it to be like a decent equivalent of a bomb arena team setup. So kind of falling short in a number of ways. Another problem is if you're up against Stone Skin, you've kind of got a chance to, like anyone, it's a 50-50 whether you're going to take Stone Skin off and steal it. That's cool. But if you don't steal it, then you're not dropping turn meter. And yeah, I don't know. Just all of your advantage is kind of going out the window. So I don't know. I already feel like they need to buff this dude. Like if they said here, imagine if they swapped this word, block debuffs, for Stone Skin. If this was a 100% chance to steal Stone Skin and then you drop turn meter, suddenly you're like, wow, this guy's meta. Yeah, that's just it. But it's just not cutting it for me. And then whenever this champion attempts to place a debuff, steal a buff, or decrease enemy turn meter, increases his own accuracy. Whenever he's hit, he's got a chance to put out decreased resistance. So as I say, the very best use case for this guy, bearing in mind he's got accuracy aura as well, is that you're an early game player. He's helping all of your accuracy requirements, and he's going to get a 5-star blessing, which will give you a 5-star brimstone, which means you can nuke bosses way faster. I do not see this guy getting into any form of endgame teams, with the slight exception of maybe an Iron Twins using his decrease attack and decrease speed and giving you your accuracy buff to be able to, get yourself into the higher levels of Iron Twins. I guess the other one is the Frost Spider in Doom Tower, where again accuracy requirements are a big challenge. So kind of sucks. Okay then, so his base stats are pretty decent actually. 103 speed, I've got him level 60, I've not booked him out. What we're going to do then, we're going to build him for speed and accuracy. And in terms of what I'd be looking for here for a build, I'd be going accuracy for the main stat on a banner, and I'd be looking for speed on my sub stat. And honestly, if you've got like half decent gear, you might throw him in some of the newer set. I'd struggle because I think if you've got the newer set type of stuff where you're getting accuracy from it, you're probably not building him at all. That's the brutal reality. But I'm just going to try and find something with a reasonable level of speed, not getting any rolls. Stone Skin wouldn't be a bad set on him for arena purposes, but again, nothing coming in, so let's just give him normal gear. But yeah, if I was looking for a set in particular, then Pinpoint, particularly good, because it's just going to get a load more accuracy and speed along the way if you've actually got Pinpoint gear, or Feral if you've got Feral gear. Again, just giving him that extra accuracy and the extra speed is going to help your builds out. But otherwise, you're just looking for speed and accuracy together. He's an HP-based champion, which means he's going to be fairly tanky anyway. He's not someone who does damage, so it doesn't really matter what you give him in terms of damage stats. That's not going to be where his damage will actually come for you from his 5-star Brimstone blessing when you do that. But you can see here, we're already starting to pump the accuracy up. Obviously, I've got a high Great Hall and stuff, so that's going to help me out. And then for his main gear, I think for most people that play this game, unless if you're super early game, you might go with Lifesteal just to try and keep him alive. But most people should be trying to push him into Perception type gear, Feral, or Pinpoint. That's where he's going to be at his best. And then when you're filtering, just go on to priority stats and just throw speed high, accuracy high, and look for pieces with decent accuracy and speed. You might need more HP on the chest rather than accuracy on the chest, more like this piece. But ultimately, this is what we're going to do for a build. Just filling out my slots. I don't really want attack percent. It does literally 0 for me in these gloves, but I'd rather have something which probably HP gloves really, like this. And suddenly we've got a half decent speed Skeletor with a lot of accuracy. So it becomes a build that I can use pretty much anywhere in the game. And if you're a lower level than me, which a lot of you will be, the same idea applies. I know you cannot hit my stats. It's irrelevant if you can hit my stats or not. The same idea applies in terms of the sets you should be looking for and the stats you should be looking for. Now, in terms of masteries, again, it totally depends what you're going to do with this guy. If you're going to use him as like an arena champion, kind of honestly, if you're going to use him as an arena champion and he's going to be effective for you, you probably need to book him out. And but I don't suggest that's really what you should do. I'm going to show you him in the arena though. So arena, you would go with this kind of like debuffer set of masteries where accuracy is your primary stat and you're looking to stay alive if you're taking hits and you're looking to gain more turn meter. If you're just going to do general build for all content in the game and you're looking to use them in stuff like Clan Boss and your dungeons and your Doom Tower and everything else, I would suggest this build here where you get War Master. War Master plus your blessing become your damage, and then everything else here is basically just enabling your skill set to come off. But we're going to go with an arena build. So just going to do this type of build where basically I'm trying to get down to increase accuracy, extra stats, and then pretty much over here it's just like, okay, can I stay alive? This is a great debuff for a great mastery for the arena. But yeah, it's pretty much like this. I don't have his blessing yet. And I'll show you a cool team. So this is the type of team that I could see him playing in pretty well. I'm quite low down in arena. Well, I'm kind of like average down, I guess, in arena. And let's just build out a team. Let's delete this one out. So Arbiter is our friend here. If you've got Arbiter already, my one's quite quick. So she should see me in good stead. So obviously Arbiter, Skeletor for our increased accuracy buff for our bomb champions. And then we're going to be bringing in Nishak and War Mother as my two bombers. Okay, so Arbiter's given me increased attack. Skeletor's given me increased accuracy. And he's got like a fallback in terms of locking somebody out if I needed to do that with his A2. So his arena skill set is really where his best skills lie. Nishak just comes in and does Bomb Squad round 1. And I do not have mine built well because I don't really use him. But basically, any bomb champion, the only thing you care about is can you land your bombs, which is his accuracy and attack. Nothing else changes the amount of damage you will do from a bomb. War Mother is just going to come in and detonate if we need her to. But I don't think we need her to because Nishak kind of detonates his own stuff. So let's just slow it down a minute. I'm actually slower. But luckily it's not speed tune. So we get the increased attacker. We still buffs and we push back turn meter. So that means that we can run our bomb champions a lot slower, which is important. Okay, we then detonate. This dude didn't get the bombs from Nishak. I guess he was weak hits. And then the A2 comes in and says, by the way, I don't care because you can't do anything. You're petrified. So this is like the type of team that I think is his best chance of having any sort of gameplay. How fast is my Arbiter, by the way? Maybe she's not that quick. 360, I still got outsped. Damn. Yeah, so this is the type of squad that I think could see him some gameplay. But again, he's best as an early game kind of dude. And chances of you as an early game player having all the bomb champs, I don't know. Depends how lucky you are or active you are and that type of stuff. But yeah, I can't see it really. So we're not speed tuned well enough, which means that we get hard wrecked. So I should be playing him speed tuned to Arbiter. Let me show you how to do that quickly, actually, because it's important if you're a new player. You can come to Deadwood Jedi site. I will say this is not super up to date nowadays, but the idea of it still works. Yeah, an arena calculator here. And then what you can do is you can say, right, who's my aura? Arbiter. Who's my first champion? Arbiter. What skill am I going to use? Her A3. And then really what you're doing here is you're saying, well, how fast is my Arbiter? I think she was 362. And then normally what you do here is you'd say, oh, my next champion is Skeletor, but he won't be in the game yet. So let's just pretend it's someone else. Let's pretend it's Kaimar, because you can kind of do whoever for this role. All you want to see is how fast do you need him to be to make sure he goes second. Okay, so my Skeletor actually needs to be like 278 speed to make sure that I don't get cut in like I just did. Let's just see what my Skeletor is at the moment. Quite a bit too slow. You see that 250. So I actually needed him to be speed tuned to Arbiter. I need him to be at 278. So one way you could do that is you could say, well, I don't need all of this accuracy. I can just find, damn, that's a good accuracy piece. I could just find other ways of getting speed, right? So I can just be like, right, well, these two pieces give me high speed, and suddenly I lose some of my accuracy, but I'm now at what, 277? I'm close enough. Yeah, so that same fight I now would not be cut in on, and that's, I think anyway. Let's see if it works. You should then go down the team even further. So we didn't get cut in. We reduced their turn meter, but then now my bomb champions are now too slow. So again, we're only pushing back 15% turn meter to nearly everyone. So who does 15%? Well, I'll tell you what, let's do it. Let's do it live whilst we're on the video. So you can actually come in here in the Hell Hades website. On the right-hand side, there's always this kind of like effect ability. So I can say champion instant effect. And I could be looking for decrease enemy turn meter. Decrease turn meter. Here we go. View champions. And then I can be looking for different abilities. So these are all the decrease enemy turn meter champions on an AoE. So this is affecting the whole enemy team. Just try and find someone who's doing 15%. So low. Maud 15? Decreasing enemy turn meter by 15. Cool. So we're actually going to throw Mordecai in this role and then choose his A2. So now what this means is I can say, right, well, for Nishak, how fast do I need him to be to make sure he gets his bombs away? So Nishak actually needs to be 220 to be able to deal with this team. This is when you actually go into properly building teams rather than just throwing bits of gear on. So, you know, currently now my Nishak is, what, 200. I need another 20 speed out of him. So, again, we could just say, give me high speed. I quit the next bunch of stuff that I got sitting around. A little bit too slow, so I might have to glyph the difference. With ideally more than a +1 game. And bam, suddenly I've got 220. And unless something goes wrong, I should now be able to actually beat this team. Obviously, you then try and get War Mother up to the same level as well. But suddenly now we push back enemy turn meter. But I didn't push back the Arbiter because he's not booked. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, really, if you're going to run him in this role, he should be booked. Got a resist over here now, but we still get our bombs away. And we get to go again. And this time round, we win the fight, okay? Because I've speed-tuned my team. Quick lesson there. Hopefully, if you gained anything out of this video, it's that speed-tuning a team is actually the way to win fights. Anyway, you can see the problem with this guy. If he's not booked, he's unreliable. If he is booked, I feel like it's a waste of his books because what you've just seen there is probably his best use case in the game. And that's a pretty sad fact, honestly. You know, if I was running him early game, then that accuracy boost means that I don't need much accuracy on champions like Mikhail or whoever you're running for your damage or your Deacon or whoever. Like, it just brings down accuracy requirements, which means that, yeah, you know, if you're trying to get through a harder stage for you for Dragon, let's call it like Dragon 20 or something, suddenly you've got Skeletor in your team. Then he has an accuracy lead, which gives you 60 straight away. And then the A3 means that you don't need to bring a ton of accuracy on your builds. And, you know, Deacon will be able to push back the enemy turn meter and Kale will be able to land his poisons and stuff like that. But honestly, outside of that, I'm struggling to see where this guy gets used. So, I don't know, guys. If you've got some bright ideas around, you know, where you'd love to see this guy shown or play tested or, you know, or you've got some cool ideas around how, other than just kind of like, yeah, he brings a buff. And he does start with it. So Deacon now has got a better chance to drop turn meter, a better chance to place his decreased defense. You know, Kale's got a chance to land his poisons, even though he's potentially even naked for me. I don't even know. I don't know what his build is. But this is really where I see him getting any sort of use if you're an early game player and you just need to boost some stats. But the reason why I say don't book him is that he will go back into the vault kind of fast. Even as soon as you start picking up some just better epics, honestly, like this guy is honestly kind of weak trash. He's kind of weak trash. You know, in terms of the way we rank legendaries on the site, he's going to be one of the lowest ranked legendaries, I think, by the time we finish playtesting, unless we find some awesome new thing out of him. So it's a shame, but facts are Skeletor looks cool, but it's kind of trash. Have yourself a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.